Ladies, what's the worst date you've ever been on? Let me just say that the date ended when I walked into his room and he had a rocket ship-shaped bed. I, 22F, met this guy Brian, 23M, on Tinder, and he invited me out on a date. I was hesitant at first because we had only been talking for a few days, but I figured I might as well speed up the process and see if I truly liked him or not. Brian invited me to a burger spot, so I went and I met him there. He was super handsome, tall, and had lovely eyes, but from the start, I got a weird vibe from him. He was a little awkward and nerdy, but I proceeded to follow him into the restaurant. The moment he sat down, he grabbed the napkin that was on his plate and tucked it into the front of his shirt. I ignored that even though he looked so dumb sitting in front of me wearing a bib, and let a natural convo take place, and we started talking about college. Turned out, we went to the same school, but he was local, so he lived at home with his parents, unlike me, who was living in the dorms. I ended up ordering a salad, and he got a burger with nothing on it, other than a bun and cheese. He told me that he was extremely allergic to nearly all vegetables and would break out in hives if he ate them. Well, you can already guess what happened there. They brought out the food, and he didn't double-check the bun to see that the special sauce that came with the burger had onions in it, and he hadn't asked for that to be removed. He started causing a whole scene and panicking, saying that he needed his EpiPen, and he grabbed it and handed it to me. Now, I have never before injected someone with EpiPen. Seeing him spazzing in front of me, I grabbed it and injected the shot into his leg. He calmed down and thanked me for administering before asking to speak to a manager. He started complaining, reasonably so, and the manager said that they apologized and would not charge him for his burger, but they would have to charge for my salad because I was already halfway done with it. Brian was the one who invited me to go on this date, so I was waiting for him to pull his card out, but then he started glaring at me the same way the manager was, so I just ended up handing the card over and paying for my meal. Brian and I walked out together, and at this point, I was ready to head back to my dorm, but he asked me to come over and essentially guilt-tripped me into doing so because he claimed that this restaurant disaster ruined his day and only I could make it better. I went over to his place with him, and the second he brought me inside, he started saying extremely weird and out-of-pocket stuff. He was dirty talking me, saying he wanted to lay me down and show me what he's got, and as he led me over to his room, he opened the door and it looked like the bedroom of a 6-year-old boy. He had a rocket ship bed frame, a canopy hanging over it, and jungle lanterns hanging around the room in place of lights. At this point, I had enough of the date from start to finish and told him I had to go. He started begging me to stay and dragging me back lightly by the arm, the way a little kid would, and I shook him off me and ran down the stairs. Once I was outside, I called myself an Uber back to the dorms and heard him wailing and crying outside of his window. That's the most ridiculous date I've ever been on.